Hey everybody, welcome back to Cody Tarot. I'm your tarot reader, Cody. So for today's pick a card, we're going to be doing a Who Will You Marry reading. I've done these before, but this one is going to be a little bit special. We have Who Will You Marry plus your first year together. So we're going to be covering like when you meet this person who you're going to be marrying and your first year as a couple together, basically. We're going to have cards to represent you and your person. And we're also going to have a Moonology card that I'm going to pull basically for the bonding agent for your connection, how you guys bond or how you form or how you meet, like what's the glue that holds you together, at least initially, and also when you meet. It's going to pull the Moonology card for also indications for like when you meet as well. Then I'm going to be pulling some tarot cards, possibly tea leaf cards if I have room on the table, but definitely some tarot cards for the year ahead, like as the progression of events for the full year. So I'm really excited to get into this reading today. Let's get into the crystals and we will get started with the reading. So our first group, group 1, is with this clear quartz cluster. That's group 1. Group 2 is this piece of malachite, polished malachite. This piece is quite heavy actually, but I'll show you the bottom of it too. Not the prettiest part of it, but I'll show you all of it. Piece of malachite. And group 3, we have this Smokey Elestial quartz. I think the stuff on the outside, the yellow stuff, is pieces of sulfur. So this is Smokey Elestial quartz. This one actually has an anhydro bubble in it. If you know anything about crystals, this one actually has a little piece of water in it that is trapped there from like many, many years ago. It got trapped in the stone when the stone formed. So yeah, I'll give you guys a moment to pick your crystal or pick your group that you want for this reading. All right, with that, we're going to get on with the reading, starting with group number 1, the clear quartz cluster. Hey, group 1, this is if you picked the clear quartz cluster, this lovely piece, this lovely stone. So let's get into your reading, all about the next year with your future spouse and who will that be? So first I'm going to draw some oracle cards. First we're going to pull from the Colette Baron Reed Animal Oracle deck. And we will get 2 cards from here to represent your you and your person. You and your future spouse. Okay, let's see. Let's draw these guys. Okay, so for you, or what I'm assuming is you, we'll have it as a person A, person B, but I'm setting the intention that you're going to be on the left side. We have you as the fox spirit, think on your feet, and your spouse as the coyote spirit. Oh, how cute. And then I want to get a Moonology manifestation card for timing and also the bonding agent of your connection. Oh, it's funny because this one, New Moon in Virgo, flipped upright. Like, this is the one I saw, even though it was upside down. But then the one that kind of flipped up for the reading is this first quarter moon in Taurus, release control. Yeah, we still have this new moon in Virgo that says, trust all will be well. I'm going to leave it right here for now. Okay, the first message I want to say, just this card that comes out and is kind of out of place, but still wants to be in the reading. It's like screaming to be in the reading, even though this is the card that I'm taking. This card wants to say with New Moon in Virgo, it says, trust all will be well. That's something, a message that's coming through very strongly for you guys, that if you guys are worried about like, oh, I'm never getting married, or I'm never going to find the one, or, you know, what if I meet the one and I like mess it up? This card is saying trust all will be well. When you find the right person, everything will flow very, very smoothly. That's kind of the message that's coming through. And with new moon and Virgo here, I see that this trust that you're developing with yourself currently, this is kind of a message coming through for a lot of you currently. You're developing this sense of trust for yourself, and it's a brand new thing that you have in your life is kind of what I'm seeing. For some of you watching, I feel like there's a lot of you coming to this video. I'm getting a message that there's a lot of you that like are coming back to watch this a second time after you've watched it once. But for those of you who are watching it the first time, I'm seeing that this trust in yourself and trusting in the universe and stuff like that is basically something that's very new to you or something that's developing kind of right now. With new moon and Virgo being the sign of like, perfectionism and kind of like, that whole aspect or that archetype, I feel like you guys are learning to lose your perfectionism a little bit. So with new moon and Virgo, it's interesting because I see that like you're learning to believe in things more, if that makes sense, or believe things will work out more. And I see that this is something that is kind of like, it's not necessarily the bonding agent that you have with your future spouse, but it is the element that you're going through right now that will lead you to meeting them in the future is kind of what I'm seeing. So with that said, I'm going to move this card off the screen because we're going to get into the actual reading right here. And let's read what you guys got. Wow. Okay. So the one message that's coming through with both of you as far as your personalities go, that's coming through, that's pretty clear. It's a very obvious thing that I'm seeing. With Think on Your Feet and Trust in Divine Detours, I'm seeing both of you and your spouse as very spontaneous people. Both people who really like to explore, both people who really like to kind of take things as they come is kind of the vibe that I'm seeing. So for example, if there's like a surprise in your environment or something spontaneous happens that you didn't expect, both of you are able to kind of really react to that situation appropriately. I see for you guys with Thinking on Your Feet, you just have this ability to quickly adapt to situations no matter what comes up. So you could have, like, you guys might have found that in your life, whatever emergency situation comes up, whatever scenario comes up that you have to deal with, like, and you have to think fast on your feet, you're able to handle it. Your spouse also with Trust in Divine Detours is the type of person who kind of sees these kind of surprises coming around the bend. And so they know that when they're hit with something like that, when they're hit with a surprise or something that surprises them, they know to trust it. They know to flow with it and follow it. There's a lot of people in our world who can't maneuver that easily in surprising or spontaneous environments is kind of what I'm seeing. So I feel like with you guys, there's this element of being able to handle emergencies with relative ease is kind of what I'm seeing. With Release Control, it's interesting because I feel like both of you are actually not that controlling of people. I don't feel like either of you are controlling at all. I feel like you guys react and adapt really easily. And with Think on Your Feet, I feel like you guys specifically are the types of people who kind of have this way of maneuvering through situations in a really like elegant fashion. I'm seeing that also with the Coyote and the Fox. Another thing I want to mention with the Coyote and the Fox here is that with both of you, these animals look very similar. They're both very dog-like animals is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. They both look kind of similar to each other. Even the way they're looking at me, their cards are looking at looking at you too. But the way that these animals are looking, it's kind of like both of them have like this beauty about them is kind of what I'm seeing. And so both of you and your spouse have this kind of like surreal beauty about you. There's something about your beauty matches their beauty or something like that. I feel like this person's going to look kind of similar to you in the sense that if people ever saw you together, they might think you are brother and sister. They might think that you guys are related. You're just that close. Like when you guys bond and when you're getting married to each other, you almost resemble a pair of like siblings, or you resemble people who, how do I put this? You just seem so cohesive together. You guys feel like you came from the same stock or something like that. This is also a sign that this person might be the same like race as you, or if you're a gay person watching my channel, or bisexual or lesbian or something like that, this person is someone who is the same gender as you or something like that. Or even like when it goes as far as that, They might be someone who, like, if you're very feminine, they're also very feminine. If you're very masculine, they're also very masculine. So this is a type of person who has kind of like a similar vibe to you. It's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing you guys possibly could be the same size. Like, for example, if you're very tall, they're very tall. If you're very short, they're very short. So I feel like this person is a very similar look to you too. I feel like this person dresses very similarly. The interesting thing is I do believe you guys are different in psychology. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is that you guys do have a difference in your psychology. With trust and divine detours, this person has faith that surprises are not that big of a deal, right? This person has faith when they encounter a surprise or an obstacle in their life, they easily can divert and rearrange their plans and their schedule to accommodate that new obstacle. I feel like with you guys, on the other hand, with think on your feet, you guys are the ones who maybe more overcome the obstacle, but at the same time, you're the problem solver in the relationship. You think of the abstract terms and the abstract forms, and you're able to quickly solve the problem, is kind of what I'm seeing. With 2 and 7 equaling 9 and 1 and 6 equaling 7, both of these 9 and 7 are very spiritual numbers. And with release control, both numbers talk about releasing control. They talk about surrendering to the universe and kind of surrendering to your own spirituality. I feel like for most of you watching this, whether you're the coyote or the fox person, I feel like there's this vibe that you've had to learn to let a lot of things go in your life. And I feel like you guys have had a lot of challenges. But the thing is, I feel like you guys have really risen to the occasion with all of these challenges presented in your life. I feel like they don't affect you that much. And I feel like most people, or someone with like a less adaptable constitution, would be really fazed by these challenges, or would be really like disheartened by these challenges, or they wouldn't know how to handle them. But you guys always see a way out, is kind of what I'm seeing. So whether there's like this ability of you guys to either like find a way out of any kind of situation or any kind of like dead end solution or dead end thing, you guys find this way out by thinking on your feet. Also with trust and divine detours, this person finds their way out by kind of like going with the flow of the obstacle, if that makes sense. So it kind of creates this really nice compatibility between both of you. You're both very, very adaptable. So with release control, I'm not surprised that this is here, because it's kind of just emphasizing that the bonding agent is this what's it called? Mindset that you guys do always release control. You do release control to fate or divine will or things of that nature. I also see with the root chakra here, one thing that I'm seeing is that both of you are going to feel really grounded. I'm sensing that both of you almost have a slightly unstable temperament in a way. And I feel like the areas where one is unstable, the other one's stable. And when you guys meet, it like just perfectly coalesces to where you both feel very grounded in your connection, is kind of what I'm seeing. So the first thing you can think of when you meet this person, the bonding agent, is this sense of stability with both of you. So if you've had unstable lifestyles or anything like that, there's a sense of stability. Like, this other person can handle things I can't. Even though you guys kind of deal with things very similarly, there is this vibe that the other person subtly and slightly can handle things better than you can in certain different areas of life, even though you are very similar. With release control, this is coming through as almost like a mantra you guys tell yourself, rather than like a lesson that needs to be learned when you come together. It's just kind of like a motto that you both have in life. Like, yeah, you can't control everything. You just have to release control. I feel like that whole vibe of knowing that you have to release control to get what you need in life, I feel like this other person understands it very, very well, almost as well as you do. And it's almost like this is a way that you guys can bond and help teach each other and reinforce each other's viewpoints. So for example, I feel like you're not going to end up with someone who is like someone who has to control every aspect of their life and they have to push through with willpower and force. I feel like both of you are very go with the flow types, and you have this way of kind of letting things in the universe come to you. You have this way of receiving. You also have Taurus right here with first quarter moon in Taurus, and earth signs are the yin receptive energy. So I do see that there's this sense of receptiveness to you. I also see with Taurus here, there might be an element of security present for both of you. So for example, you might come into this connection, and something that I'm seeing is that you guys might amplify your financial security substantially by being with the other person. I am kind of seeing that both of you are well off before meeting the other one, and it just kind of amplifies your kind of energy of prosperity. With first quarter moon in Taurus, I feel like there could be, when you guys meet, there could be a quick getting to know each other. But then after like the second or third date, that's when you guys might have some obstacles as far as like really learning who each other are. It's almost like with the first quarter moon, the parts that are revealed really early on are really easy to figure out. But then kind of after like the second or third date, there's kind of like the obstacles of like, okay, now I really got to get to know who you are. Like we covered all the stuff that like we really get to know each other really quickly on, but now it's like we really have to get to know each other. We really have to kind of dig into like our psychologies and figure out what the other one's about or something like that. This could also indicate that you guys might have a really quick getting to know each other process in the beginning of the connection, but also as the connection progresses, there's still mystery. There's still things that they surprise you with. There's still things that are different about them. They're not ever going to bore you, that kind of thing. So also with release control, I was pulling this card for timing as well. So with first quarter moon in Taurus, I do see that you guys could meet during a first quarter moon. The moon could be in Taurus, or you could meet in Taurus season. But that's kind of when I'm seeing how you guys could like meet. There's something about or there could be an important event in a first quarter moon in Taurus after you guys meet. So after you guys meet, maybe you have a specific moment where you truly fall in love with each other when there's a first quarter moon in Taurus. So yeah, let's move on to the tarot portion of the reading. Okay. I'm going to pull these manga cards today. And we will pull 4 cards. The way I'm setting up the tarot portion is it's going in 3-month segments. So think of each card, and I'm going to pull a tea leaf card. I think it'll fit on the table. I'm going to pull 2 cards basically for each 3-month segment that you guys for the first year of your connection. And this first year is going to start after you guys meet, like the moment you meet each other. So there might even be some things that I see where you guys are still in the getting to know each other process, but I'm going to pull it for the first moment that you meet. That's kind of the intention that I'm setting. So we have 8 of Chalices, we have the Strength card, we have the 4 of Chalices, and we have the 7 of Chalices. And now we're going to pull some tea leaf cards. And take those 2 and this one and this one. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's see. Do those all fit on the screen? We have some, let's pull these down a little bit. Okay, let's see what you got for your tea leaf card. So the first card is 8 of Cups, and we have Broken Wishbone, wish will not be granted. Then we have the Strength card with Firecracker, excitement. Then we have 4 of Chalices with a two-faced friend. And then we have 7 of Chalices with man, dealing your relationship with a man. Okay, I was looking over these cards and they're a little bit confusing, but I think as I read that the messages are going to come to me. So let's just get started. First 3 months of your first year of being together. With the 8 of Chalices and the Broken Wishbone, wish will not be granted. It's very funny. I see that one of you or both of you, when you guys meet, are walking away from some kind of commitment in your life. There's some kind of previous commitment. I see that you do meet each other before you walk away from this commitment. So it could be a relationship is kind of what I'm seeing, that maybe one of you guys meet while the other one is still in a relationship. That could be a possibility. But the one thing that I'm seeing, this commitment that you're walking away from, or that both of you are one of you's walking away from, I think it's you, to be honest, because they don't start coming into the picture until like this fourth month. At least they don't start really, you don't really feel their presence on a really physical level. Anyway, there's basically this commitment that one of you has to walk away from. It could be a relationship, could be like a lifelong project, something that you really dedicate yourself to that you have to walk away from, because with wish will not be granted, I'm seeing there is an element that this thing that you were committed to was not budging, or was not, with the wishbone being broken here, it's almost like there's a battle of will or something like that, and like two people were like wanting the same thing and you guys didn't get the project, or you didn't get the wish, or something didn't happen for you guys, and so you have to leave something behind because you lost a specific battle, is kind of what I'm seeing. And so it doesn't phase you that long. It's just in these 3 months, this is kind of like a downer moment. I feel like with this person, if this is not a relationship you're leaving and this is just a project you are working on, this person, even though you have met them already, at least the first 3 months in the connection, you're not focused on them so much because you're still dealing with the fallout of this specific situation. I do see though that in the next 3 months of your connection, so what is this, months 4, 5, and 6, with the strength card and excitement here, this is where your relationship starts popping off. Like, this is kind of where there's this whole vibe of like discovering the strength in your other person, discovering the strength in your spouse or who you're going to marry. And kind of with the excitement card here, I'm seeing that like you guys really feel that passion, that lust for each other. I'm definitely seeing a lot of sex in this period of time. If you guys are going to be having a lot of sex or romance, this is the honeymoon period for sure. With the strength card here, I feel like there could be something along the lines. It's interesting, this guy's checking up this dragon, right? He's looking into this dragon's mouth. I almost feel like he's giving him a health checkup. There could be the vibe that like you guys help each other with something with your health, or with some kind of addiction one of you might be struggling with, or a bad habit. There might be something you guys help each other with through that. But also I'm just saying that you guys take care of each other's health pretty consistently. There's something about feeling more present in the other one's presence. And very grounded, like that grounding influence I mentioned, where you guys feel this sense of like calm energy or calm strength. I feel like you guys are going to feel strong and slightly energized, like there's a buzz going on between you. And it's kind of like both of you can kind of get whatever you need to accomplish in your life done. This is really the lovely period of your connection. I definitely feel that you guys are going to have, like, this is the period, months 4, 5, and 6, around that time. This is going to be the period of the most excitement for your connection because it's brand new. This is where that first quarter moon light is coming in, where you're like really fired up about getting to know the other one. You're really excited to meet someone who's so like-minded, so similar to yourself, yet does things on a slightly different level, that you guys really find this like pure excitement in being together. Months, what is it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Months 7, 8, and 9, with two-faced friend and the 4 of cups here, I do see that there is this kind of component where one of you has a friend or a person in their life that is difficult for the other one to handle, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And so there is kind of this, there's almost like the vibe that I'm getting is there's like a third party who is getting involved or trying to get involved in your guys' relationship, or trying to split you up or something like that. And with two-faced friend, they might be saying things to either one of you separately. So this person will try to get in between both of you and try to talk to one of you separately away from the other one. And then they'll go to the other one and try to talk to them separately. So the thing that I'm seeing with this two-faced friend, which is really interesting with the 4 of chalices, is you guys both start to kind of ignore this person's advances, right? You start to kind of hide out, is kind of what I'm seeing. And it's interesting because I do see that this excitement and strength energy is still flowing into this period. So it's like this is just when it starts, right? But it lasts for a while. The thing about this 4 of chalices, right? This is the period where you guys start to get a little more secretive about your interactions with each other because of this two-faced friend. This is someone who you have to kind of hide parts of your relationship around because they're pretty envious or jealous of you. So you don't tell this person when you're, it could be one of those situations where this could be someone who's close enough to either your spouse or you that you still want to keep the friendship, but you know it's going to take them time to adjust to your relationship, right? So I'm feeling that you guys kind of have this way of like ignoring this person when you need to, and then also spending time with them when you need to. There could be a moment with the 4 of chalices representing lukewarmness or apathy. There could be a moment with your spouse where you have moments where you guys have to be apathetic towards each other, or you have to kind of play disinterested in each other is kind of what I'm seeing, or you might have to, like, I feel like quiet moments are going to be important for you guys, finding quiet moments away from the crowd or public or anything like that to like spend time together. But there is a lot of kind of like going back and forth with this friend, and I don't know if you guys leave the friend or not. That's not really what is being shown to me in this reading. It's just being shown that there is this sense that this friend causes a little bit of a damper on your connection in months 7, 8, and 9. And so I don't know if you guys end up leaving this friend. It just depends on how things pan out. The thing is, I see that you really love and are excited, especially excitement's coming through. There's a lot of excitement coming through that you're really excited about this person you met, that you kind of met and you're kind of excited about them. You really had this passionate moment with them, this passionate 3 months. And so you're kind of continuing that. It's just slowly fading because this friend's kind of getting in the way or someone's getting in the way. With 7 of chalices and man here, dealing with your relationship with the man, there could be something with this dragon protecting this scroll. I'm getting this vibe that like, there's this vibe coming through about knowledge or information or learning, and that there's this vibe of like wanting to approach someone for a lesson or something like that. So I feel like both of you, I'm seeing that both of you kind of want to like start educating yourselves in this 10, 11, 12 month period of the year. There's something about wanting to educate yourselves with something, wanting to get involved with something. With dealings or relationship with the man, I see that you guys pair up with a man that is like somewhat of a teacher for you, someone who's going to teach you specific things. And I feel like you guys learn both from this man. This man kind of takes you both under his wing. This is very different from the two-faced friend. This is someone who's kind of like fosters your relationship and helps it grow, or is very respectful of your relationship. And they also teach you a lot. There's a lot of learning with this man. This man, for some of you guys, could be one of your father figures or a mother who's very masculine. But what I'm seeing here is this person is someone who's going to teach you a lot about life. With the 7 of Cups, there is kind of a vibe here of wanting a lot of different things at the same time. So you guys might have a lot of different ideas of where you want your relationship to go, what you want to do next, what you want to learn, how you want to educate yourself is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. There's a lot of possibilities is what I'll say. There's a lot of possibilities where this connection could go, what you guys could do with your life. I feel like you're the couple who, when you guys get together, you don't really have big battle plans for your life. You guys don't set the course. You don't have goals where you're like, I'm going to set this goal and I really want to achieve it. So I feel like if you came to this pile and you're kind of the type of person who has this goal and like, no matter what, you're going to get it and you're going to destroy any obstacle in your path. I feel like with Think on Your Feet and Trust in Divine Detours, you guys are too adaptable to even kind of set major goals. You kind of take things every day as they come. So when you get to this point in your relationship, both of you kind of realize we want a goal in our life. We want to learn something. We want to educate ourselves. We want to be in the kind of world of like achievement a little bit. I see that's kind of something that comes when your connection starts to solidify even more. It's kind of like this dark side of the moon. It's the part of your relationship where you're not going to see it right away because you guys are so similar that it's kind of the dark side. It's kind of like when you guys get together and your shadow kind of unveils and you're like, maybe I do want to set a goal, or maybe I want to have this passion, or maybe I want to find something that I care about, right? So there's a lot about possibilities here. I feel like this man could be a life coach or someone who helps you find your talents or something like that. Because I am seeing that with this scroll here, this dragon is protecting this scroll. And dragons can, to me, represent the shadow side of our nature. So with this 7 of Cups, all these possibilities happening, it's like you're a student approaching this version, the shadow of yourself, right? And I see that this man's going to provide a lot of like insight and knowledge to both of you and teach you guys a lot about whatever you're trying to learn. So I do see this kind of really cool educational thing where you guys both become students of a specific subject, kind of learn a lot from this man. Yeah, at this point, I don't see the two-faced friend bothering you guys too much anymore. You guys might actually turn away from this two-faced friend. To be honest, with the 4 of Cups, with the apathy feeling, I feel like this two-faced friend just causes a lot of apathy in the connection. With this woman pouring water on this other cup and this excitement, this firecracker, I'm seeing this person kind of pours water on your, what's that phrase where it's like, pour water on the flame or something like that. They pour water, wet blanket. Is that right? Yeah, I think it's called a wet blanket. This person's kind of like a wet blanket for your relationship is kind of what I'm seeing in this period of time. And so it might be beneficial to shake them for the time being, or it's just kind of learning how to balance that out, right? This two-faced friend could be someone that maybe you can't get out of your life. Maybe it's like a sibling or someone who you've cared for in the past or you've taken care of or something like that. And so with the cat here, the two-faced friend, I'm seeing that this is just something that needs to be balanced out. It's kind of something that needs to be added into the equation. And it's kind of it almost feels like inevitable that it needs to be added in, but it seems like it's going to work out in the long run because I don't see it being a problem over here in months 10, 11, 12. Wow, okay, so that was the first year of your time with your future spouse. I don't know if you guys get married in the first year. I do know that you meet your future spouse and you have like this whole year coming up. So I'm not sure when you guys would get married. I didn't see too many cards about a marriage in the cards for the first year. So maybe you guys wait a little bit longer before you get married. But that's the reading for today for group 1. Thank you guys for letting me read for you. It was an honor and a pleasure. And if you like this reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, we're going to move on to group 2 with the Malachite. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you in the next pick a card. Bye. Hey group 2, this is if you picked this Malachite piece right here. So let's get into your reading. So first I'm going to draw a animal oracle card for you and your future spouse. Who will you marry? And then we're going to pull a manifestation card for the timing of your connection and also the bonding agent that you guys will have that kind of brings you together. These two don't want to go back in, so I'm taking them. We have Brown Bear Spirit, Take a Time Out, and we also have Horse Spirit, Freedom is Yours. And let's get you a manifestation, a Moonology manifestation card. This deck is by Yasmin Boland. These cards are from Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal Oracle. Okay, let's get a card out here for you guys for the bonding agent. This card wants to come out. We have Unleash Your Kindest Self. That makes sense with the horse spirit. First quarter moon in Capricorn. And yeah, let's get started with your reading. Okay, I'm not seeing too much right off the bat, just overlooking the cards, so I'm just going to start talking and we'll get into it. So with 9 with the Brown Bear Spirit, I do see that you guys are represented here as the Brown Bear Spirit, someone who's a little more spiritual, and I feel like when you guys come up against obstacles in this world, this other group had this theme of obstacles too, and I feel like it applies for you guys, but not necessarily for your spouse. But for you guys, I feel like when you guys come up against obstacles, something that helps you is to take a time out. When you think that there's like an impending ending or something like that, you just take a breather from it. You take a time out from it. Sometimes you guys take a moment to recoup, reevaluate what you need to do. There's something about kind of pausing and reflecting that is something that is elemental to your guys' personality. Also with the Brown Bear Spirit, I am seeing seasonal changes. Something about you guys that I'm seeing here, kind of that is shown up next to your spouse, is I feel like you guys operate on seasons of life is kind of what I'm seeing. So for example, you guys might have like a period of the year where you do most of your work. For example, the good example of this could be a teacher. You guys could be teachers where you work for like the fall, winter, and spring, and then you have summers off or something like that. That's a very like job related example. This could also apply for other things too. Like say you're a bodybuilder and you kind of, winter is like, bulking month, and then like spring you cut, and then summer's like summer body and stuff like that. There's something about with seasonal changes with the Brown Bear Spirit. So whatever it is, you guys have a seasonal pattern to your nature is kind of what I'm seeing. You guys might also suffer from seasonal, what's it called? I think it's called SAD, seasonal affective disorder or something like that, where like different changes in the weather can change your mood drastically or change how you operate. Also, the thing with brown bears too that I'm thinking of is they like to take naps or they like to hibernate. So I feel like you guys have this way of hiding out and just recovering from things in general. Like if you guys need to recover from something, you definitely take the time out to go and recover, to take that moment for yourself. I feel like you guys might be more introverted than most. I feel like you guys have this way of foraying out into the world, but then coming back to home base just so you can relax, recover, and like rest is kind of what I'm seeing. Now it's interesting because your partner with horse spirit over here, I am seeing that your partner is pretty beautiful or pretty stunning. With the horse being the card representing them, they could be quite muscular is kind of the vibe that I'm getting, and very athletic. With 33 up here and with horse spirit freedom is yours, I feel like this person really like loves their freedom is kind of what I'm seeing. I feel like they've had a few things in life bog them down. And with 33 adding up to 6 here, this could have been like karmic stuff. This could have been something where, how do I put this? They may have had a situation in life or a couple situations in life where they had to kind of pay people back or people had to pay them back, and it kind of messed with their freedom. They almost felt trapped in this sense of like obligation that they were due to someone else or that someone was due to them. So they may have like gotten away with a lot when they were younger, or like did a lot of stuff when they were younger that was maybe like uncouth or too wild, you know, because they are a horse. There's something about being too wild when they were younger, or there's something about having like certain habits when they were younger that they don't have them anymore now, but they're still paying for them in the present is kind of what I'm seeing. With freedom is yours, they love their freedom. They love to have this sense of freedom, but they know that they can't just do whatever they want because they kind of get these kind of paybacks throughout their life is kind of what I'm seeing. With this horse spirit bowing their head and kind of leading with their head, I feel like your person is highly intelligent. There's something about them that's really smart, or really they know a lot or something like that. They're just very intelligent. They have this way of being more intelligent than the average person. One thing that I'm seeing that kind of bonds you guys together, interestingly enough, with Unleash Your Kindest Self, the way you're going to know this is your spouse and something that's going to bond you together, both of you are going to be so incredibly kind to each other. I feel like a lot of you watching this have had people who are very unkind that you have met in this lifetime, or did not have your best interests at heart, or were very disrespectful, or kind of talked down to you, or were mean to you, or were condescending to you, something along those lines. And with Unleash Your Kindest Self, I am seeing that this person is just incredibly kind and considerate towards you. This is the type of person who is always asking how you're feeling before they do any action or decision. They're always kind of very considerate. They're like, how would you feel about this if I did this? Are you okay with that? They're kind of that type of person that always asks those questions. With you, I see that you guys are kind with them as well. They kind of see your gentle nature as kindness. Even though you are a bear, you're more a predator than they are. There is this vibe that they're more active than you are, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So they're kind of the more docile one, even though they're more active or they're more action oriented. And I feel like you guys have this kind of like you have this ability to kind of stand up and defend people. I feel like you guys are the true strength in this connection, as far as like the ability to kind of like take out an enemy. You know, there's just this vibe of like, with the brown bear spirit, of like being able to protect your clan, being able to protect your family. So I feel like when you guys are parents, right? Both parents, if you have kids, I feel like you would be a very protective parent towards your children. Even though you do take time out to relax, you do take that time to recover, you are more introverted, you're still very protective. And this person with the horse spirit, they're just very energetic. They have this ability to kind of like have this sense of energy and look graceful while doing it. They have this ability to be graceful with their energy. With Unleash Your Kindest Self, they see you as a very gentle being. They see you that even though you have a side that's very protective, this person still sees you as very kind, gentle, considerate. It might even be that with the brown bear spirit, you guys, maybe because some people saw your protective side, they thought that you deserved like meanness or unkindness or cruelty. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. It's just that people misread your intentions, right? They misread your actions and how you were acting towards others, basically. They kind of they misjudged you, essentially. They misinterpreted what your actions meant. So this person doesn't do that. They definitely see you for who you truly are, and they know you're a very kind, considerate, and caring person. You deserve kindness. They also know that you guys might be a tad bit sensitive. So they also are like, I know you guys don't want to hear that you might be more sensitive, but this person just knows that like you deserve kindness and respect, basically. And you're a very beautiful person with beautiful qualities, and they see that. They see that fully in you guys. With first quarter moon in Capricorn, I do see you guys could bond over practical components in your relationship. And it being a first quarter moon, I see these happening relatively quickly. So I feel like in your relationship, there is this vibe of like immediately getting involved in either like a career with the other one, or immediately getting involved in the practical components with the other one. So for example, I do see that like, maybe one of you advises the other one on some practical component in their life. An example would be like working on a car, for example. Maybe one of you is working on a car. Maybe the other one has some advice on how to work on that car, and they say like, oh, you need to do this here, do this and this here. And so the other person goes, oh, thanks. I didn't even realize that. Why would you do that? And it's like, oh, you do it because of this. This is the reason. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff about practical components. This could also apply in career. If you guys are artists or musicians, I like to use this example because I feel like we should all be a little artistic or musical or perform or create or something like that. It's so good for the soul. But I am saying that if you guys are like creative collaborators, you would really get involved with like creating with each other right off the bat. There is something about practical components though, like taking care of the practical tasks the other one doesn't want to do. So for example, this could go as far as like, maybe you hate doing laundry and this person like loves doing laundry. Maybe you guys talk about that when you first meet. It's like, oh yeah, I love doing laundry. And you're just like, wow, they like doing all the boring stuff that I don't like doing, And it's kind of like one of those things where I feel like you both have a practical side to you, or you both take on those responsibilities, but maybe you didn't find anyone in the past that worked for you because maybe you like taking on some practical stuff, but you don't want to take on all of it. Maybe you hate vacuuming, but you love doing the dishes or something like that. I feel like this person is a weird opposite of you, where they also like some practical things and don't like other things. And it just coalesces where you guys take on those responsibilities and divide duties kind of equally. Yeah, with first quarter moon in Capricorn, I am seeing these practical components getting right off the bat right away. I am seeing something about both of you guys in your relationship, your career taking off. I am going to still pull the year ahead for you guys, but I am seeing something about your career probably taking off when you first meet this person. Previous to the last group who also had a first quarter moon, I am seeing that you guys have a lot of mystery towards the end of your relationship. There is this vibe that you guys are going to constantly discover surprises about each other and figure different things out about each other as time goes on. It's not like it's going to be boring or you're going to know everything about your partner the whole time. It's like you're going to constantly get these different surprises about them as the relationship continues. So now I'm going to get into the year ahead for you guys. I'm going to pull these mega tarot deck, and then I'm going to pull some tea leaf cards. The way this is going to be set up is it's going in 3-month chunks. So we have months 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, and then 10 through 12 as the months for the first year of your connection. And I'm setting the intention that it's going to be from the time that you guys meet each other, right? The moment that you meet, how the year plays out for you guys. We have this card that wants to come out right here. Let's get another card. This one wants to come out right here. And let's see. This one wants to come out right here. Then we have this one that wants to come out right here. We have 2 of Pentacles. Okay. Let's get some tea leaf cards. I'm going to pull from the bottom right here. Pull these 2. And I'm going to pull one for here. And I'm going to get one that's like really calling me for this last card. I think it's this one right here. Okay. Okay, let's see what your tea leaf cards are. Your first card is the Chariot, and we have Clouds, temporary problems. You have the Four of Wands and the Fox, shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. Capricorn energy right there. The Devil card, also Capricorn energy. And we have Flag, do not be tempted to lower your standards. Interesting. Oh, that's funny. I'll get into that in a second. Two of Pentacles, and we have the Heart. Love, deep affection, and caring. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. You guys have a very eventful first year. I see that, let's see. Let me look it over real quick and then I'll get into it. Okay, so first we have the Chariot with Clouds, temporary problems. This is really interesting because these kind of energies are canceling each other out, or they're interacting with each other more so in how they're playing out, right? With Clouds, temporary problems, I am seeing this sun or moon behind the clouds kind of like hiding itself. And with the Chariot, I am seeing these two men like straining to lift this guy up with his sword up here. I do see that in the beginning of this connection, there are a lot of sort of issues that start right at the beginning. But they're really easily overcome with like determination. With the Chariot here representing that determination, also with him holding a sword, which represents epiphanies or thoughts, I feel like logic could be very important for overcoming these problems. I definitely see that it will be important because with the Horse Spirit person being maybe more the logical one, I am seeing that listening to this person's logic about these temporary problems is going to be very, very beneficial. It's going to be important to trust the way this person thinks and the way they operate and the way their mind operates, because I am seeing with the Clouds here, and Clouds also are representative of the sword energy, just so you guys know, because in tarot, there's a lot of clouds on the sword court cards, and clouds are really relevant for sword energy. So I feel like the temporary problems are things that only the sword and the intellect can overcome. With the Chariot here, with these two people holding this person up, I definitely see that some of these problems actually deal with other people supporting your guys' connection. So it's almost like people are really happy for you. They love your connection. They really want to support it. And they feel so devoted to you two as a couple. There's something about both of you as a couple that makes other people want to support you. That's kind of what I'm seeing. That makes other people want to support you and care for you and give for you. But I am seeing it's a strain for them, or it is kind of like slightly a burden. And so I do see at the beginning stages of this connection, there could be an element where you guys both rely on other people a little too much for things in your life or something like that. And so as you guys kind of come closer, you start learning to rely on each other. It's funny, it says temporary problems, right? So that's kind of where the problems are coming from, right? The problems are coming from the fact that you both aren't relying on each other is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So there is this vibe of like learning to rely on what the other one wants. And specifically for you guys, if you're the brown bear person, I know some people watching this are going to be the horse spirit, but I feel like most of you coming to this are the brown bear spirit. Relying on the horse person's logic is very, very important. I feel like the horse person, what they need to learn to rely on you with this claw protecting this bear's heart, is relying on this bear's ability to love in their heart space, basically. So with temporary problems, these are things that are going to go away over time. Like it's just clouds passing in the sky. I mean, it's temporary blocking out the sunlight, but the sun's going to shine eventually. And so the first 1 or 3 months, you may have to deal with some of these problems as there's like an adjustment period of getting used to each other, learning to rely on the other one's logic, learning to rely on the other one's heart space, learning to rely less on people, definitely, because other people want to support this connection, but they feel like they're doing a lot of work. And this could also be emotional work too. So for example, you guys might be in a place where maybe you meet this person and you're not really sure how to proceed. So maybe you're really used to consulting your friends about this. You ask your friends like, what do I do? I don't know how to proceed with this person. I really like them. What do I do? And the friends are like, I really love them for you. They're so good for you. I want to help you. And so the friends start becoming the counselor, right? And I feel like this could happen on both sides. Both people have friends that are becoming the counselors for the connection. And so I do see this sense of the support kind of growing thin as you guys it's almost like you need to fully trust in each other and kind of dive into the relationship. It's almost like maybe you guys in the past are just used to having friends and not romantic, intimate partners, or maybe you're at the point in your life where it's been a long time since you've had a romantic, intimate partner, or maybe you've never had a romantic, intimate partner. So the thing that I'm saying is it's good to rely on this person or learn to rely on this person, because I am seeing that it is important to build your relationship. I do see it's natural to rely on each other. It's just somehow you guys don't think to ask the other one for help or ask the other one for something. It's like you guys are still in that tiptoey dance stage of your kind of connection. So I do feel like your friends are like, oh my gosh, like they're perfect for you. Just ask them. Like, there's kind of that vibe here. That's in the first like 1 to 3 months. Even with temporary problems, I'm even seeing it being less like almost like a month or 2 months rather than 3 months. But then also right here with months 3, or yeah, maybe like 3 through 6 months, 3 through 6, I am seeing that like with this 4 of Wands card and the Fox, that shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business, you guys quickly learn. First of all, with 4 of Wands here, this is kind of like the twin flame card, but it's also the card that like traditionally kind of reminds me of a marriage or like a marriage ceremony in the traditional tarot. So I am seeing that like I am looking for those cards in these readings just to see. I am seeing that you guys might get married rather quickly, or you might get really committed to each other rather quickly. Once these problems are overcome, it's like, whoa, this is it. It's like the clouds have cleared and you're like, this is it. This is my person. I know it. This is my person. With the Fox here with shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business, I see that you guys really are very savvy in business matters. With this Capricorn energy here, this is that first quarter moon where you're dealing with the practical, you're learning you guys can help each other with the practical, and the relationship feels easy. It feels easy, it feels stress-free. With the shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business, you guys are going to be really good at managing business, your finance, your money. I feel like you guys have the same values when it comes to money and resources. There's something about you both being really adept at dealing with money and resources. Okay, and then in this next period of time with the Devil card and the Flag card, this is where things get a little interesting and a little personal. So keep that in mind as you're watching this. But yeah, so the Devil card basically talks about, in this particular reading, is talking about sex and like, addiction to pleasure is kind of what I'm seeing. So do not be tempted to lower your standards. I feel like you each have certain things you like in the bedroom, or you have certain standards for your sex life. I'm going to keep this kind of brief because I'm feeling that you guys don't want to know too much about it, but there's certain standards you guys have, and I feel like you guys feel subordinate to the other one's wishes, or subordinate to kind of like the norm is kind of what I'm seeing. So with do not be tempted to lower your standards. I feel like you guys have certain standards in the bedroom that need to be upheld. There's certain things that you expect or appreciate in a partner, like sexually, that this person is going to, how do I put this? It's interesting because it's almost like there's some sexual difficulties between both of you, but I do see that the solution is to not lower your standards. It's to not say, okay, I'll handle this because I want you to be happy. It's one of those things where your kindness is amazing in your relationship, right? Doing things for the other one is amazing in your relationship. But when it comes to your sex life, you both have needs, you both have things you need to get met in your sex life. And it's good to not lower your standards, especially in this portion of the reading, because I see that you guys, in this period of time, are starting to explore those sides of yourselves sexually that are more like taboo, or things that the other one keeps hidden or doesn't want to explore. And it's important to say like, no, you know what? I want to do this. Or you know what? I'll do this for you. It's kind of like, don't back out of this just because it's interesting. There's almost like some sexual incompatibility, but it's almost like this kind of discovering process is kind of what I'm seeing, where I'm seeing that you guys, by like branching out into new territory, as well as getting the other one to do kind of stuff that you like, you're really going to expand your horizons in this department. So yeah, not lowering your standards is going to be really important. With this flag lifted, it's like a triumphant flag has been lifted, Yeah, it's interesting. Like the flag that's white is the surrender flag, right? And this flag's red. So I am seeing there's kind of like a little bit of a battle of the wills here as far as like sexual activity goes. I feel like you guys are kind of wanting to explore that department of yourself. Another interpretation of this card that I could see is that maybe one of you is struggling with some kind of addiction and the other one doesn't like it. So the thing that like needs to be said, instead of being like accepting that, to really share what you believe in and say, you know what, I can't handle this particular thing that you're doing, and tell them like they need to drop it or you need to cut it out because I don't like this. And so I feel like that actually, it's, even though it's a challenging moment with the flag here, I do see triumph. I do see a period where you guys overcome this challenge. With the Two of Pentacles here, it's interesting because I see that you guys really enjoy managing your wealth. There's something about really wanting to manage your money with the other one, or there's something about resources. With the yin and the yang, it's like this is where you guys discover that yin and yang perfect balance with each other. Even though you do have these sexual things, this like dilemma basically that's coming up, with the Two of Pentacles here, you guys really find this balance and peacefulness. Water represents intuition, and this is where you guys are fully in months 10 through 12, fully developing your intuitive abilities with each other, really learning to trust each other and know that the other one's the yin to the other one's yang. This with heart here leads to love, deep affection, and caring. This is where this kindness, sense of being kind to each other, re-emerges in this connection, right? It's interesting because this is kind of how you meet with the unleash your kindest self, that fact that you guys are kind to each other. And you know, even when I'm talking about the battle of the wills here and stuff like that, you guys can still be kind about your battles. You can still be respectful to your partner. You don't have to be unkind to assert your needs and assert boundaries in the bedroom. You know, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Also with the Two of Pentacles, with love, deep affection, and caring, I am seeing this relationship really budding in this period of time. This could be a time where maybe in this period of time you guys are planning to get married. You get married in this time. The thing that I am mainly seeing though, just so you guys know, is a marriage that happens relatively quickly after you meet. Almost like a shotgun wedding. Is that what they're called? Shotgun weddings? But yeah, I do definitely see with the Four of Wands here, there is this vibe of like, how do I put it? Like excitement about your partner. I feel like this love, deep affection, caring with this heart card is something that's going to last well into the rest of the relationship. It's something you felt in the beginning when you guys first met, and it's something that is going to solidify in the future. So don't be scared if there's some problems here and some problems here. Problems do happen in relationships. They're inevitable, right? We're always going to run into some problems. But the thing is that beautiful, kind nature that you guys show each other is never going to go away. And it even solidifies even deeper here, especially once the problems are dealt with. And these ones are very temporary, just so you know. It's just learning to rely on each other versus relying on your friends. And this one is more learning to deal with some kind of like addiction or sexual component, setting boundaries, releasing boundaries, even if you have too firm of a boundary and you know you need to release it. It's about releasing boundaries. It's really about diplomacy right here. And with love and deep affection and caring, I do see that you guys have this like beautiful connection, this heartfelt connection for the rest of your lives together. So that's so sweet. I'm going to end the reading there. If you guys really enjoyed this reading or you like this reading, please feel free to like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'm always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, we're going to move on to the last group, group 3, with the Smokey Elestial Quartz. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next pick a card. Bye. Hey, group 3, this is if you picked the Smokey Elestial Quartz. So, very cool stone. It has sulfur on it. I mentioned that in the beginning of the video. But yeah, that is your crystal. Good choice. Yeah, let's get into your reading. So first I'm going to draw these Spirit Animal Oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed. We have one coming up for you. We have Chameleon Spirit, Act As If. And we have one for your partner. We have Rabbit Spirit, Now Is a Lucky Time. Wow, I never get these two cards when I pull cards for you guys, so this is great news. And I also want to pull a Moonology manifestation card for you guys. This is going to help me determine the timing of when you guys are going to meet and also the glue for when you guys meet. We have let your fears dissolve. Full moon in Cancer. And let's get, actually I'm going to just start the reading right now. Wow, so I cannot get over this beautiful full moon in Cancer card, especially next to the chameleon spirit and the rabbit spirit. It just, to me, there's a lot of beauty here, and it's kind of reminding me of dreams a little bit. And the fact that you guys are turned away from each other, the chameleon's turned away from the rabbit spirit, this could be one of those connections where you guys dream about each other, or you're connected through some kind of dream life or something like that. This is one of those connections where you guys know who your partner is going to be. If you have an idea of who you're going to marry or who you're going to date, at least if you have a type in your mind, you know, at the minimum, if you have a type of person that you're going to end up with and you're like aware of it, this is the pile or the group who like knows who they're going to end up with. There's something about having a vision of this person in your dreams before you meet them, or figuring out somehow that this person is going to be the right one for you before you meet them. I feel like with full moon in Cancer, it's like you guys truly know and see who your partner is going to be. The universe wants you to know what type of person you're going to be with. They want you to know who you're going to. A lot of people, they get into these relationships where it's like, you know, surprise, you're going to end up with this person and you never expected it, right? This is a situation where they want you to see the full picture. The moon is completely full. The earth is lit. They want you to see who this person is. When you guys meet each other, you will know who the other one is. You will have such a strong connection, it will be almost psychic. This is the fact. It's like you will see them so clearly and they will see you so clearly. It will be like you have never been apart. It's weird. It's like, oh, there you are. It's like the person, when you meet this person, it's like the first time you meet them, it's going to feel like you've known them forever. There's no getting to know you process. It's like instantly knowing. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And also there's this vibe, this metaphor is coming through of like your spouse leaving the house and going to the grocery store and coming back with groceries. There is this vibe of like this person, when you first meet them, it's like they're coming back from an errand and they're like, hey, sorry, I got the groceries. It's going to feel very much like that. Like this person might even the first meeting might even be something like, how do I put this? It might be like this person shows up, you know, or they're walking around with a bouquet of flowers, right? And they don't even know they're going on the date with you. They bump into you on accident and they're like, hey, do you want these? I have these, they're extra. Something like that, where they're just giving you flowers the first time they meet you and they didn't even know they were gonna meet you. That's kind of the vibe that I'm seeing. There is something along the lines of something on a more like mediocre level of this happening where maybe not all of you are going to get flowers the very first time you meet your spouse. But there is this vibe of like them maybe like buying something, how do I put this? Buying something at like a store or something like that. And maybe they're like returning it and you walk by and that's like the item you need to purchase, right? Or maybe there's something about they got an extra coffee at the coffee shop or something like that, and their coffee order was messed up, but it happens to be the exact drink that you drink. And so they just end up giving you this drink. It's like they have this gift for you right away and they give it to you. That's kind of the vibe that I'm seeing with this connection. With act as if, it's important for you guys, because I see that most of you are coming to this reading with the chameleon spirit. A few of you are the rabbit spirit. For example, if you have some kids from a previous marriage and you're like single right now, rabbit spirit is probably the card that you're going to relate to more, because I am saying that most likely this person's going to have children from a previous marriage or a family from a previous marriage. If not a family, they're going to have a few pets that they really take care of and they're really close with. And you guys are going to become like the pet dad or the stand-in dad or something like that. Or stand-in mom. Sorry, I'm saying dad, but you could be the stand-in mom too. It could be someone with a single dad with kids. With chameleon spirit act as if, I'm seeing that you guys watching this with chameleon spirit, it's important for you to act as if your partner is already here. That's what's going to draw them in the most. Because I don't know when they're coming. With full moon in Cancer, they could show up when the full moon is in Cancer, which would be around usually that's around Christmas time or just after Christmas. It's going to be in Capricorn season, somewhere in January or something like that. But basically, with the chameleon spirit acting as if this person is here, right, is going to help them manifest, right? If you act, like your person is already with you all the time, you're living your life that your person has. And it's interesting. I don't even see this as something you guys have to try and do. I'm giving you this message as advice, but it's not really advice. It's just kind of what you guys already do. It's you already act like you're living your life where your person, if they just walked in, they would fit seamlessly because you know who they are. It's that's the weird thing. It's on a deeper level, you've had a dream about them, you've had a vision about them, you have this idea about them, you kind of know who they are. The other message that is coming to mind too is it's the only reason you guys don't see each other in the 3D or in real life is because with this moon here, it's the universe is illuminating the whole world for you guys to find each other, right? The only reason you're not is because you guys are turned in opposite directions. It's you're turned in different orientations in your life or something like that. It's you know who your future person is, you know the type of person they would be, but there's this vibe of not wanting to pursue the lifestyle that you know how you would meet them, if that makes sense. And it's almost painful. I see that you guys are kind of not surrendering to that specific lifestyle where you know you would meet your person. There's this vibe of sticking to some kind of lifestyle or habits or something like that where you're not, how do I put this? It's first of all, when you guys meet, it's going to feel so natural. You're going to be why didn't I do this thing sooner? But it's something that you're putting off doing that you really want to do and you're desiring to do it, but you're living this other life because out of duty or obligation or whatever. For this rabbit person, they could be in a marriage, right? That's not working. And maybe the reason they're in this marriage is because they have kids with this person. They feel like they have to stay with this person for their kids, but one day they're going to wake up and they're going to be you know what? This marriage is not working. I need to separate myself from this marriage. For you guys at the chameleon spirit with act as if, or for most of you watching this, if you're the chameleon spirit, there is this vibe of being in an environment where you can have your external self reflected by your internal self, if that makes sense. So I do see that there's this vibe of how do I put this? You might have an internal identity and your outer identity might not match that internal identity. And so what I'm seeing is you guys are really good chameleons. You're really, literally a chameleon. You guys are really good chameleons. You can go into different environments, different groups, different scenarios, different situations and blend very well with people, but you still have internal longings. You have internal longings for what you want to do. Also with act as if, you guys could be actors. You could be the type of person who wants to become an actor or wants to perform different roles or be different people. You guys might have a lot of various different styles or ways of dressing or different ways of being where you look like a different person. That's something that's coming through as well. With the 4 and the 1 adding up to a 5, change is really prevalent for you guys. So you guys might go through your life changing your values often, changing your identity often, changing what you want to do, changing who you want to be with. There's an element of revolving change that happens with you. And the only thing that is being called upon here to find your spouse is to follow that internal vision, right? The internal vision is going to lead you to this person, right? So really it almost might be a time where it's maybe both of you are just not ready to meet each other quite yet. It's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So with let your fears dissolve, you guys might have fears about meeting your person, or you might have a fear of well, if I go to this new area, or I go to do this new hobby, or I go to do this new activity, what if I fail at it? Or what if it's not what I wanted or something like that? There's fear holding you guys back, especially with the rabbit person. I see that there could be fear holding them back from leaving this connection. What if I don't find anyone else? I can't, raise these kids on my own as a single mom. Will this previous husband or will this previous woman that I'm with, will they be able to help with child support and stuff like that? How will this work? There's just a lot of fears going on. So with let your fears dissolve, that's kind of the key to meeting this person, letting your fears dissolve and moving towards that vision, right? Sometimes with a full moon situation, it can be lighting up your path to see your person, but because it's a full moon, it's lighting up everything. So for example, everything could look tantalizing. So for example, as the chameleon spirit, you might be realizing that like, you might have fear to go down the correct path, but there you might be getting distractions all the time. Like, oh, come over here, do this. It's like being at a carnival, being like, step right up, play this game, do this. And your person's like across the carnival. You know, you can still see them and you know it's them, but you're being distracted. Oh, I could play this game here. I could do this over here. There's kind of that vibe too. So I'm getting a lot of messages on why you guys are not meeting. And it's interesting because you guys are turned away from each other. So you're not paying attention to the fullness of this connection is kind of what I'm seeing. Yeah, with this crab here staring longingly at this moon, I am seeing there's this vibe of like, you want this person. Like deep down, you guys want this connection. You want this person you're supposed to end up with. Um, and I am seeing for a lot of you, this is someone that you have a vision of. This is not going to be the groups that are, you know, it's like a past connection coming back in. This is someone that you had a vision of this person and you know who this person is based on your vision of them. It's interesting. I feel like for both of you, when you guys meet each other, one of the things that's going to help with you guys meeting each other, with chameleon spirit act as if and rabbit spirit now is a lucky time, there is this vibe that like with the chameleon spirit, when they start acting as if they have a partner, acting like they want a partner, is kind of when this person comes in. And with rabbit spirit now is a lucky time, when their life starts to get lucky and serendipitous events start to unfold, that's when they're going to run into their partner. You know, because that's when the serendipity is what's going to bring that first meeting where there's that gift that's being exchanged, right? Now, if you guys watching this, because I'm feeling a lot of you are one or the other. You guys might even meet your person in the comments if they pick the same pile. But like, the thing is like, I'm seeing that like, basically, you guys have this gift exchange. There is something about a gift exchange is coming through in the very beginning of the connection, or having something that they didn't even want but the other person needed, and just having it really on hand in that moment when you guys first meet. There's some serendipitous moment like that. This connection is extremely magical. It's extremely powerful. I am seeing a lot of love, but I want to get into the first year of connection after you guys meet each other, because I'm getting a lot of like how to meet right now, or like what you need to do to meet each other. Yeah, let me get into the year-long influences. I might backtrack to this connection. Oh, one thing I want to point out as far as timing, yeah, you guys, I mentioned it already, but you guys might meet this person in Capricorn season because we have full moon in Cancer. So that could be a time where you guys could meet. You guys could meet where there's a full moon in Cancer season, so that would be full moon in Capricorn, could also be possible. I feel with the Cancer card here, you guys have a very intuitive connection. With the rabbit spirit and the rabbits here, Cancer's also doubly emphasizing this feeling that this person, or there's going to be children in this connection, or you guys are going to want to start up a home base or a family. The fourth house is emphasized, especially with 4 and 9 adding up to 4 right here. There is going to be this fourth house is kind of emphasized. Okay, let's get some cards. The way this year ahead is set up is I'm going to have months 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, and 10 through 11. So it's like about 3 months is the time for each tarot card. And I'm going to be going over what's happening the first year after you guys meet. So I'm setting the intention for when you guys first meet each other, right? When you guys first see each other in the 3D. I know you guys have that vision of each other and you know kind of who your type of person is going to be, but this is kind of like when we meet them in the 3D. So let's see. We have 10 of Pentacles. That definitely makes sense. Let's see. We also have 10 of Swords, Hermit, and the Tower. Of course, you guys get like extremely powerful cards for this reading. This is an extremely like divine connection. It's kind of what I'm seeing. Okay, let's get some tea leaf cards. Let's see, we're going to take these ones. Okay. Okay, so your first card is Ten of Pentacles, and we have Yoke, feeling tied down or frustrated. Then we have Ten of Swords, we have Spear, heartache over what you no longer have. Interesting. Then we have the Hermit here with Sunrise, new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. And we have the Tower here with Bag, something important such as a new job or raise. Here's the interesting thing about this connection. With the Chameleon Spirit, act as if with this being a 5 and this person representing a 4 over here, and with the Cancer energy being so strong, especially with the Rabbit person with the crab looking up at the moon, there is this whole idea here where the Rabbit person has been looking to the moon or to their angels or to the spirit or to the universe and wishing for this person, wishing for their soulmate, wishing for their spouse, wishing for their future husband, future wife. But the thing is with the Chameleon Spirit, I feel like with the 5 here, they're very much going on adventures. They're traveling the world, they're going through things, doing things, and they kind of keep feeling this vibe of thinking about this Rabbit person. They're like, okay, I'm getting this image of this person. I keep dreaming about this specific person that I haven't met. It's because this Rabbit person's sending their energetic blueprint to you in their dreams, basically. Okay, so with the Chameleon Spirit, with act as if, with the Yoke feeling tied down or frustrated, I am seeing right off the bat, there's a few things coming through here. Feeling tied down or frustrated is kind of what's represented by both of you when you come into this connection. And it's for the first month. I feel like you both have been dealing with some frustrating life circumstances. Life has not been treating you well. There's this vibe of like things being difficult is kind of what I'm seeing. With Ten of Pentacles, it also feels like you guys have met your true person. With Ten of Pentacles here, you could be exchanging quite a bit of wealth with each other. You guys both could be very wealthy when you meet. There's also the possibility with this Ten of Pentacles here, being the marriage card and also feeling tied down or frustrated. This Rabbit person could be feeling very tied down or frustrated in their marriage, and that could be a big topic of discussion when you guys first meet, the first 1 to 3 months. It might be, there's a few possibilities here, right? It might be that you guys immediately get married, like the month after you meet. You realize after 1 month, you're ready to get married, you're signed, sealed, and delivered. You guys go to the wedding chapel and you just sign the papers and you start your life, right? But with the Rabbit Spirit, now is a lucky time, and feeling tied down or frustrated, there is this vibe that like this person is still in their previous marriage, or the marriage is a big part of their life. They might be separated from their person or talking about separation at the point where you guys meet up, but the marriage is still a part of their life and they still have to deal with it. With the Ten of Pentacles representing here money and it being in a marriage, they might be dealing with financial things with that marriage. So for example, they might be in a settlement or a lawsuit about like the money that is being split up and how they're going to pay for the kids and who's going to get custody and stuff like that. So there is a lot of frustration when you first guys meet, especially on the Rabbit Spirit person's portion. With Chameleon Spirit, this frustration would apply maybe because this person is feeling like they don't have to go on, they can't go on their adventures anymore. There might be a moment where they meet and you guys are truly in love or you truly feel for each other, but there's just a lot of things that this Chameleon person has to help the Rabbit person with in the beginning stages of the connection. But yeah, I do see you guys make that commitment right away. Like there's something about with the full moon being here, knowing each other right away, knowing when you meet each other that the other person's your one and you're just sure that you want to be in it for the long haul. There's kind of a very sure feeling right off the bat. With Ten of Swords here, heartache over what you no longer have. There is this vibe here of, it's interesting. There is a little bit of a tormented state coming for you guys in this connection. I feel like the Chameleon person, or you guys watching this, if you relate to this card, with Tens of Swords represents being, typically can represent being betrayed by a group, because there's so many swords in the guy's back. It's like a whole bunch of people decided they didn't like him and threw him out of the group, right? With Ten of Swords here, I definitely see that there's this vibe that the Chameleon person feels like they had to let go of their activities, right? They're missing the fact that they let go of specific activities for this connection. It's hard on them initially. The Chameleon person might want to go out and party and be social and do things with people, and the Rabbit person might want to stay home. This is a little bit of contention with heartache over what you no longer have. it's almost like, and I'm seeing it mainly on the chameleon person side, but also with the rabbit spirit person, there is this vibe of like, there could be heartache over their spouse, although I'm not really seeing that. I've seen them being more liberated once they've left their previous relationship, but they could be a little bit sad. Like, it might be bittersweet. Maybe they really had moments where they loved this person. Even though they were fighting and knew they had to leave them, maybe they still love them on some level. So there is this moment of loss, or kind of like commiserating over loss of like your previous lifestyles. So it's interesting. It's weird because you guys are so in love right off the bat, and it's like you're in love before you meet. That's the thing. So it's like when you guys meet each other, that love has already developed, and so you're just dealing with certain issues in the connection, basically. So with the Ten of Swords here, it's like you're both relating to that feeling of being betrayed. You commiserate over that feeling of being betrayed. You commiserate over the people that you once had in your lives that you don't have in your lives anymore, because with this kind of difficulties right off the bat, with feeling tied down or frustrated, it kind of bleeds into heartache over what you no longer have right here. So the first 6 months, I'm not going to lie, with your guys' relationship, there's some difficulties, there's some struggle. And I mean, that happens, but when you guys are truly in love, it's like, you know, that love conquers all is kind of what I'm seeing. There's something about you guys being so head over heels that you're going to overcome it. Now we get into months 7 through 9, right? This is where things get interesting. With the Hermit card and new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. This is where you've wrapped up the loose ends. You've tied up all the previous parts of your life. You've mourned the loss of your previous lives. And with the Hermit card, you isolate, you get together. And this is where you guys finally feel like you can relax. You can really lean into one another. You can really discover each other's inner selves. There's this vibe of discovering who you truly are through the other person, something that neither of you thought was going to happen before you met this person. There's something about rediscovering yourselves and having this light shine out from within you. With new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start, there is this vibe here with you guys getting to this point in this connection where you start getting new creative ideas. You get new ideas for projects. You get ideas for new ventures. You get ideas for a fresh start in life. Maybe you guys start thinking of different ideas of like programs that the rabbit's kids can do, like school programs or activities or something like that. Maybe you guys get a fresh idea of like where you want to live, where you want to move to. Maybe you get an idea of how you want to make money. Maybe you get an idea of like what you want to learn, what you want to explore. Maybe you get an idea of how you want to show love to each other. Maybe you're learning a new way to show love to each other. There's a lot of different ideas that are coming through, new ventures, new projects, a fresh start. There's just a lot of brand new freshness in your guys' lives. It's like clearing out the old, or like mourning and clearing out the old with this Ten of Swords, ending a chapter with a 10 of completion here. And with this 9, the Hermit card, discovering new beings and new ideas and new creativity through soul searching. Next, we have the Tower with bags, something important such as a new job or a raise. It's interesting because I feel like when you guys break out into the world, there is this vibe of a sense of destruction, right? There's this moment where you're like away from everything and you're deciding what you want. You're deciding the new place you want to live. You're deciding you have all these new creative, brilliant ideas for your future together. Then the Tower comes. This is a period where you guys are re-emerging into the world. This is kind of like the vibe of like trying to figure out what you want to do with your life as far as those ideas go and how to integrate them in reality, right? So you have this fresh start, you have these new ventures you want, now you're reintegrating yourself into reality, you're trying to make these things happen. But with the Tower card here, there is some difficulties with these things happening. The thing that I'm seeing though is it's represented because the universe is like, okay, new path for these two, right? They finally met, we have a new path, we need to rearrange things. So for example, with the Tower card, you might notice destructive events happening around you, right? Not happening to you necessarily, just stuff happening around you, things that are like happening that the universe is making happen for you guys to create a new path for you guys, right? You can think of this building back here as kind of like this person's old home, right? And they've destroyed it, or this building's caught fire and it's crumbling. And this person stands triumphant in the foreground, basically being like, you know what? Like, I am still here. Like, I am still here, even though there's things being destroyed around me. Like, I am here and I'm here to lead the way, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. With something important such as a new job or a raise, I am seeing that there's a vibe where one of you maybe gets a new job by the end of the year of you guys first meeting each other. And with new job or a raise being included here in this bag looking like a bag of money, I do see a significant pay raise for one of you. Enough where you can support each other, especially with this 10 of Pentacles here being a precursor to the rest of the reading. There is this vibe that this new raise or this new job that you have is going to provide a lot of wealth for you guys, especially for the rabbit's kids or pets. If this rabbit person just has pets and it's not kids. But there's this vibe of providing a lot of money, a lot of wealth, a lot of resources, a lot of opportunities are coming your guys' way. You really discover that when you guys isolate yourselves, and it's interesting. The vibe here is like you spent so much time apart, right? And the world was used to you guys being apart. The world is used to you guys not being together. The world doesn't know any different. But when you guys come together and you get into that hermit mode, right? When you start to become close, it's like what's it called? It's like an explosion for everyone else, right? It's like your guys' energy is so powerful together that like this tower energy just kind of happens. Things get kind of destroyed in your environment. Things change. There's a lot of dramatic changes that happen. And it's only happening like this because it's paving the way for your guys' relationship to interact with the world around you, basically. You're both very powerful beings is kind of what I'm seeing. And so that's why there's a lot of like things happening where it's like, you're very powerful, and I'm seeing that both of you have like powerful emotions as well. It's kind of what I'm seeing with this 10 of Swords and the heartache over what you no longer have. You guys really long for things, and you really like crave certain things and elements in your life. So once you break down those dramatic emotions and you get more into this creative space of soul searching, that's where it's like the dramatic stuff kind of is affected in your world around you, right? Yeah, Tower is just indicating major change. You guys are going to have new opportunities coming in, especially right after this moment when you start breaking into the world. There might be a few moments of disastrous things, but after that, I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert for future years. You probably are just going to be creating a lot of newness in your life, right? With this chameleon spirit and this rabbit spirit, with the 5 and 4, you guys find the perfect marriage of change and stability. It's like you know that the stability going into the home environment creates this opportunity for you guys to create future change outside of the home. So there is this vibe of like travel and also security at the same time. You guys might move around a lot once you guys really get used to your kind of lifestyle and living together, and you might be able to create home wherever you go, basically. Even though you might move around a lot, you might be able to create a home or a space that is yours no matter wherever you go, and you can always feel content with your person wherever you are. Also, I'm getting the full moon. Sometimes when there's a full moon, crime rate goes up, stuff like that. The witches are out casting their magic. I am seeing this vibe of like, when you guys are together, there's kind of like a full moon kind of energy around you. So the connection could, because your guys are meeting under this full moon, or that's the bonding agent is the full moon, there could be a lot of stuff that's lunar in nature in your environment or around you, or that you have to deal with throughout your life. This is a really powerful connection. This is a really magical connection. I'm really happy for you guys that you have a connection like that. This is a very once in a lifetime connection. This is definitely a future spouse, someone you'll marry that is also a soulmate. So I'm very honored to give you guys this reading. If you like this reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, we're going to move on to, well, that's the last group, so we're not moving on to anything. And thank you for watching my pick a card. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, and see you guys later.